changes.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Rockstar Flipper YouTube channel. And a question I get a lot: how much money does it take to get started on e-commerce or to run your business at a month-to-month basis? Can you start for only 50 bucks, 100 bucks, 10 bucks? Well, that's a great question. And I want to tell everybody, it does not take as much money as you think to start on e-commerce, not even close. So let's go over the basics. I'm gonna kind of try to put some stuff up here in the corners, but let's start with the three most important financial investments that you need to have regardless of the platforms that you're on. And I wanna break these into a sort of a must-have and a you should have. So these things you definitely need to put the money into, and then the other side you probably should. Okay. So every reseller needs equipment. And so equipment and supplies are gonna be your packing materials, your light kits, your computers, all that sort of stuff. So in order to be a successful reseller, it's absolutely recommended that you have a smartphone. Like, without a smartphone, you're behind the 8-ball. Can you do it without one? Yeah, people have done it for years. Is it easy? No, it's gonna be really difficult when you're outsourcing or at a business meeting or in a warehouse trying to price stuff. You need to have a smartphone. iPhone, Android, both of them will do it. Your personal preference. I like iPhone. I think there's advantages. There's probably some to Android, but you need a smartphone. So what is the cost involved in a smartphone? Well, good newer smartphones are going to cost you $600, $700, $800, $1,000, upwards. My phone is $1,400. It's not necessary, but you can pay for them month over month. You can make $20 payments, $25 payments. So it's totally up to you. You can buy a used one for a couple hundred cash, but that's one of the investments that if you don't have, you should probably make. Now, I don't see this as extra money coming out of people's pockets because most of us have a smartphone already, and you're gonna have it regardless of your business. Now, you can deduct the cost of an upgraded smartphone or a monthly payment. That is deductible if you're using the smartphone as a business phone, which most of us do. So that's investment number one. Investment number two is a computer. Now, a lot of you do your work on tablets or your phone only. Some of you don't even use a computer, be it a laptop or a desktop. I really think that you need both. So I have an iPad Pro 3rd Gen, which is like basically the newest iPad. It came out in December or November, something like that, whenever I got that iPad, the new one came out in November, December. Mine came out in June when I got the one before eBay opened. But basically, that iPad can do anything my computer can do, but it's really not conducive. It's not easy. So I can list from it, and I can take photos, and I can, manipulate things, but really, you should have a computer. You don't have to, but I recommend it. Even just a basic middle-of-the-line laptop, something that you can type on and work on. Especially if you're gonna do social media or YouTube work, you'll certainly need something that can handle that. So laptop, computer can be anywhere from a couple hundred up to, $1,000, $1,500 MacBook. Again, I use all Apple products, so I tend to pay a little more for stuff than most people. Okay, that's a computer. The third thing that you're going to need is, if you're going to be a lister and you're going to take photos, you absolutely have to have, and I recommend this for everyone, a photo setup. You can do a photo setup for less than 150 bucks. You could even do it for 100 and less. You can get a nice set of lights, a light kit, which I'll kind of show you guys, a light kit like that, where you get 2 of them. I only have one set up right now, but you can get that for 50, 60 bucks. The set I link is like 70, I think, 65 or 70. So let's just say it's $70. And then you can get the background stand that holds the rolls of background paper that you can roll down. The background paper is like $11, $12. So we'll call that 15, that's 85. And you can get those background stands for like 25, 30 bucks. So $30, that's 115, call it 120. So you can really do a photo setup affordably. You can also buy one of the light kit boxes. You can make one yourself. Really 100, 150 bucks is it. That's all you should be spending for that. Okay, and speaking of, once you sell those items, the third thing you're gonna need, and this is a must-have, $15 scale, little tabletop. Again, it's all linked below, but you can start with just something like this. You really shouldn't need anything more. You sell a TV remote, you just sit this on the table, pack it up. You always weigh with the packaging. I don't have it right now, but just packaging, and then you'll be good to go, right? All right, number 4, you don't have to have it, but I'll put this over in the should have, not the have to have, but a tape gun. Get your roll of eBay tape, whatever. You can quickly tape shut your boxes, tape shut your envelopes if they don't tape very well. You know, many reasons to have a tape gun. 10 bucks, right? So 10, 15 for the scale. Again, they're linked below. Most of these items you'll see linked below. If you don't see them, then just look them up. eBay, Amazon, that's where I get everything. Okay, bubble wrap, envelope, and boxes. Boxes you can get for free because most of you use flat rate and padded flat rate envelopes and boxes like that. USPS mailing boxes, all free as long as you're using them. For first class, you're gonna have to buy your own envelopes, your own poly mailers, or your own bubble mailers. So those are gonna cost you a couple pennies each. You could buy 100 of them. You'll spend, you know, whatever, 10 bucks, 5 bucks, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, whatever amount and quality that you buy from them. They're available through eBay if you're using your free shipping coupons. You shouldn't really have to put too much out, but packing material along with the packing tape that I just showed you, all things that you should have, and depending on what you're selling, you probably will have to have. So bubble mailers and poly mailers are cost on you. Boxes and padded flat rates and flat rate and priority mailers will be on the USPS. Anything you need beyond that, like if you're selling bigger items with plain brown boxes, you'll be responsible to buy. Okay, so that's packing material and shipping material. All right, the next thing that you should have, and I put this halfway in between should and basically have to have, is a printer of some kind. It does not have to be a thermal printer. This is a thermal printer that we use with, you know, our thermal labels and whatnot. And this is not something you have to have, but I recommend it because why? It spits it out and you, see, and you just peel and stick it. And long story short, this will save you money because it doesn't use ink. So eventually get this, but you can start with a regular laser or ink printer until you get one of these. But you should definitely not be peeling tape off, handwriting labels, sticking them on, and then taking them into the post office and buying them. There's really no point to even be in e-commerce if that's what you're doing. You need to upgrade and invest in yourself. Okay, so if we go out on a limb and say you spent $125 for your photo setup, you spent $15 for this, which is $140. You spent $10 on your tape gun, that's $150. Let's say that you do get a basic printer, right? And you buy for $50, so that's $200. You buy $50 worth of some packing materials that you need. You know, you're out the door, what, 250 bucks, 300 bucks for everything that you would need. And you can start fresh. If you already have a phone and a laptop, you're good to go, right? Okay, so if you end up upgrading to the thermal printer and buy one for 100 or less, you're gonna be out the door maybe 350, maybe 400. This entire business can be ran on a bare minimum about $200 you're gonna have to put out the door, maybe $250 to get really what you need. Ideally, you wanna spend $300 to $350 to get your full setup. That's what you have to put out. You know, if you have a credit card, if you have something, I don't encourage people to use credit cards. I'm not a huge fan of credit cards. I do use them, interest, points, all that sort of stuff, but rewards, whatnot. But if you do have a credit card, you have $1,000 on, $1,500, and you want to start a business, you have to spend money to make money. So a few $100 is really nothing in the grand scheme of things. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, basic. Don't overspend on all this stuff because the last expense that you have is inventory cost, right? You got to go out and buy inventory. So how much to get started? Really, if you plan for the first month and you're going to get your feet wet and you're going to go out a couple weekends and buy, you're not going to spend more than a couple $100 in inventory. You know, you certainly go crazy and spend $500, $700, $1,000, but really, 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 truly, I believe 200, maybe 300 will do it to get you rolling. Because remember, if you're buying stuff for $2, $3, $4 a piece and you spend $300, you're talking about 100 pieces of merchandise. You also have to list. Now, all of that stuff said, you know, if you're going to spend $200 or $300, we're going to add that to the $200 or $300 you spent on supplies and equipment, and you're going to be out about $500 to $600 to start the whole business and get your inventory up. But if you're able to buy 100 pieces of inventory at that and you can sell half of them for $10 profit, you are going to sell your 50 pieces at $10 profit and have your $500 investment back and still have $50 worth of inventory that you can sell for profit. And now you can go back out and start putting money into more inventory, and you've already paid for all of your stuff that you only had to buy once, like the light kit and the printer and the scale. So that's how the building of reinvestment goes. Now, the second round is things that you're going to need for organization. Things like bins, storage shelves, racks, all that sort of stuff. That's another set of expenses that we could talk about later. It'll be linked below. But, you know, storage bins, you can spend $50, $60, $70, $80 on them. Racks, you can spend $30, $40, $50, $60 you know, clothing hangers, things like that, where you can easily spend $150, $200, $250 for storage and inventory systems and stickers and plastic suction bags to pre-label them. So, you know, if you went out and bought everything out the door to start with and didn't count the inventory, you could spend $500 or $600 and then dump the rest in inventory. This business can be started and be profitable for under $1,000 with everything. You can do it for $500 with your inventory, but it's going to be tight. So just know that if you're in a job and you're trying to save money to start this business, you only need to reach that couple $100 and you can get rolling. You know, there's always things down the line that you can buy, Bluetooth scanners and upgrades and software and all that sort of stuff. So don't kill yourself thinking you need thousands and thousands of dollars to start this business. You certainly don't. And, you know, you could do it on the lean side, the cheap side, or you can do it on the high end side and get everything you need at once, or slowly just build yourself up. But make sure you start working towards getting those necessities that you need. Finally, the last thing, and really if you want it for the first thing, it's probably one of the cheapest things I've mentioned here. Picking up my program for $20.20 for the 2020, an investment in your education, your training, your learning, your knowledge. You can't invest in anything better than that. And I'm going to show you all of these supplies, how to use them, all the platforms, how to do your accounting, which can be another expense down the road, you know, buying an accounting program, all of the social media side to help you maximize what you make on all these items that you're going to dump your money, your investment into. I'm going to teach you how to maximize the profit back so you can cover the cost of all these fancy supplies and all these fancy pieces of equipment that you're going to be buying. So that $20.20 link is below. I hope you guys consider picking it up. Remember, it's good for an entire year inside of our VIP group with all the videos, guides, webinars, training, everything you need, start to finish on eBay, Amazon, Posh, social media, and accounting. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Let me know if there's anything I missed as far as what you need, what you require, what you have to have for reselling, what you suggest. If there's things I should link or suggest to other people who are just getting started, please let me know so I can add that, edit that, or put it in the comments pinned to the top. Have a wonderful night, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for all the new subscribers, and welcome to 2020.